Okay. Am I audible, people?
Yes, sir, clearly.
Okay, thank you. As I said yesterday in my uh, WhatsApp messages, we would have a talk of around 20-25 minutes. And let me see if I can give you some insights on selection of specialization. You'll have to excuse me for my voice. I'm still recovering from the illness I was infected with. Anyway, let me just first put up a disclaimer that I am here in no case to to ask you to change your decision that I see you have put up in the merit list group as such. But only in case there has been some problem as far as selection of topic is concerned, then you could think it over. That's one thing, because if you remember, the initial lectures in climatology tended to be tough, and then I took your sort of induction lecture as to how climatology needs to be done, and that worked for quite a few students who personally messaged me that thank you, sir, for that lecture. It's only because of that lecture that we are able to understand the subject in a more proper way. Let us start with the philosophy of specializations. Now, we call them specializations, but if you put it over the whole course as such, if you put it at a whole course as such, how many papers are you differently writing as someone doing geomorphology and someone having opted for economic geography as a as a specialization? You'll see that you write different papers in first semester. You write two papers in the second semester. You have one theory paper in the third semester and a practical in the in the third semester as such. That makes five papers of all, of which the first paper, the first semester is in fact common for all. That leaves only four papers out of not in anything less, not anything not less than 20 papers that you are. So your specialization is what? Just 20%. It's not an exclusive specialization like just a moment. Hello. Yes, I am in a meeting right now. I'm in a meeting right now. Yeah. So I was referring to the fact that uh, the very fact that it's only four papers in all that accounts to not more than 20% of this does not make this a life and death issue. Let me tell you, it's not at all a life and death issue. The rest of the 80% is something that all of you all are going to do together. So at no point of time, I want you all to, even if the number remains to be skewed after my lecture, it doesn't worry me. The only thing is that see that you stay together as a class and don't get divided into people who are specializing in geomorphology and people who are specializing in uh, economic geography as such. Because you'll see that there has been times, in fact, if you remember when I spoke about the initial aspects of geography with you, there have been dichotomies in geography, which would be against people pipped up against each other. Those who were doing physical geography would say that physical geography is the best part of geography to be done, while those who were doing human geography would say human geography is the best type of geography to be done, which eventually went into, say, systematic versus regional geography. And all that we have done in theory. What we have done in theory is something that we need to take lessons from. Now, if we speak about period up till 10 years ago, okay, around about 2010, there was this trend wherein, yes, what specialization you come from uh, gave you a peculiar recognition. But if you see research around these days, if you see understanding of different subjects around you these days, it tends to be more integrative as such. It needs to be more interconnected as such. So when we are looking at trying to connect geography to other subjects from sciences like physics and chemistry in environment and climate change on one hand, and we look at the humanities side like sociology and psychology as to how people behave and respond to use of resources, environmental pollution, and so on and so forth. It tends to be getting very necessary that we actually stay in the present scenario as such. So as I said, your specialization against your whole course, that's the say um, is just 20%. The next thing that I would like to bring to your notice is what I see is a few students yesterday. What I saw is a few students put up geomorphology as their thing, and the others thought that okay, that's the way to go. And many of these students, because I know you from your, I may not have met you personally, but I know you from your assignments. And when I was assessing your assignments, I could read through the psyche of making an assignment and so on and so forth. So I would request you all to go by your liking and understanding of the respective specialization. That's geomorphology. Not that majority of the class is going to geomorphology, even I should be going through geomorphology. My personal observation has been that geomorphology is that the reason that we have these two. Okay, let me come to that as well. The reason that we have these two types of specializations is that in SP College we had two faculties. You have BSc students and you had BA students. BSc students, yes, had some coming from the vernacular, and you have some students coming from the English medium schools as such. BA, a larger number of students came from vernacular, and a sizable number, though less, came from English medium schools as such. Now, whether you would be able to, I'm not saying that your English is bad. I'm not saying that. But there are other things that I'm going to come to, and that's why I'm making a few things clear. That when it comes to references in certain aspects of, let us say, geomorphology, which is practically speaking a more science-based subjects as such. Okay, the advanced levels at which you would have to read through when you are doing, say, for example, say the roughness coefficient of a river, what is Reynolds number, etc., etc., etc. I don't say that should be a part of your syllabus, but if even if it is not, okay, since you would be calling yourselves as specialists in geomorphology, there is an every chance that you would be asked questions around this as such. Fluid geomorphology, okay, roughness coefficient, synacity index. Now, these are things that we otherwise have not done. And when I compare the syllabi of these two, this happened with me also, and let me throw some light on that before I come back to the point I was discussing. That believe me, that when I did my BSc, I topped in the college. I was in SP College also, and I was the first ranker in the university as far as BSc Geography is concerned. And then I went into, say, giving my UPSC exams. But when I saw the preliminary paper, I realized that I had not done a lot of things that are a part of geomorphology, because at our times, and probably in these days also, the BSc syllabus is more lopsidedly designed around physical geography. And I had not read about political geography. I had not read about industrial geography. I had not read about tourism. I had not read about agriculture. I had not read about population. I had not read about theories of population. And as a consequence, in spite of the fact that I was a first ranker in BSc, I fared heavily, drastically, I would rather say, as far as my first attempt in the UPSC was concerned. I couldn't even clear my preliminary. It's there that I realized that it's not the whole of geography that I have done. I have a long way to go, and after that, believe me, 6 months I was reading human geography extensively, only to clear my UPSC prelims next time in my next attempt as such. Having said that, let me tell you that any competitive exams that you would give in fourth, okay, I don't know what you plan to be, but if you're planning around to be a teacher, if you're planning around to be a researcher in geography, teacher at a school level or at a college level, let me tell you that every of these aspects, every of these sections to have their exams. And as far as these competitive exams are concerned, may it be UPSC, may it be MPSC on one side, or may it be the net set examinations on the other side. As such, you'll see that they are a mix of human as well as uh, physical geography. And me being on the panel of MPSC, for sure, I know that they give you clear-cut instructions that, okay, these many questions from this section, these many questions from the other section, as such. Now, let me tell you that whatever you have done in physical geography till now, there is a possibility. I'm not saying it's a thumb rule. There is a possibility that all the possible questions that need to be added in physical geography have already been done. But from my personal experience, I say that the questions from human geography have still not been covered extensively as far as your syllabus is concerned. And if you are looking at a career which is based on competitive exams, then I would say that a lot of human geography has still not been done. Okay, that's another aspect as such. And thus I come back to the fact that if you come from a BSc background, if you come from a BA background, see that how comfortable you are with advanced English, particularly with these subjects like coastal geomorphology and fluvial geomorphology that you're going to have in. म्हणजे असं व्हायला नको की इथे कुठं फसलो मी येऊ, असं व्हायला नको. I'm not saying you change your option, but for that, what should be done is, in fact, I would request you all to attend a few lectures of both the specializations. एक दोन तीन लेक्चर मध्ये आपल्याला अंदाज येतो की शिक्षक कसा आहे, and so on and so forth. And let me tell you that teachers should not matter much. Okay, and the pandemic has proved they give you a direction. It may so happen that for a particular paper in a particular semester, you may have a good teacher, and you start feeling that, wow, this paper is so fantastic. This subject, I need to take it up as a specialization. And suddenly next year you don't have good teachers. And मगाशी मी म्हटलं तसं की कुठे येऊन फसलो मी, असं व्हायला नको. So your understanding of that particular section is very, very important. Rather than going by, you would say that, okay, मला एक दोघांचे messages आले की sir, don't we have specialization in climate? Probably they were impressed the way I taught climate in the last semester as such. Okay, but that doesn't mean की हाताची पाची बोटं सारखी नसतात, let me tell you. So you would not have that quality of teacher. When I say quality, you'll see that teaching improves with experience. So probably I have that much amount of experience to convince my students to understand a particular topic to that particular level. Okay, next year it may not see. Okay, so I would advise you all to first attend a few lectures and see how your teachers are teaching you, how the subject is getting through you. If you are confused, if you have made up your mind that no, I am very sure that I'm going to do this aspect, then go ahead. I would say no issues about that. Then if you say that, oh my God, I am not able to make up my mind whether I need to go this way or that way, then I would say की हे सगळे आपण प्रयत्न करून पाहायला पाहिजे, that you should be attending a few lectures, and for that, in fact, you could request the teachers to uh, to adjust their lectures in such a way for a couple of weeks, so that they say they make their lectures available. I'll try to do that with agricultural geography, uh, so that I make my lectures available to all of you all, so you could make a few aspects as such. Now, another aspect that I would like to discuss on is something like, see the titles like fluvial geomorphology makes it a very good म्हणतो ना आपण की याच्यामध्ये बरंच काही असेल किंवा असेल. On the other hand, something like industrial geography, something like agricultural geography, you tend to think ह्याच्यात काय असणार आहे. But but students of human geography, particularly who come from the art side, who have actually thought about the subjects, will know that human geography is not that systematic as physical geography as such. A person, two different persons coming up or grown up in the same circumstances will respond in different ways as such. That makes human geography I would say a bit complex. At the same time, it makes human geography much interesting as well. I'm at this particular point nowhere demeaning uh, physical geography. As I put up on the WhatsApp group yesterday, I did my specialization as geomorphology. I would say that was the need of the time wherein I finished my PG in '93. Possibly at that particular point of time, geography was not looked upon to that particular extent as an integrating science, as an interrelated, interdisciplinary, and so on and so forth. But my vision into geography as a subject, I am not referring to a specialization of geomorphology or economic geography. My perspective about geography today is that with the growing population, the problems which we have with our population around, and the connections population has amongst them and other branches of geography as such, one needs to have there I would say there is a better scope in human geography than in physical geography, so to say. There is again a word of caution that I would put here, is that when we speak about these specializations in geomorphology particularly, you'll see that there are certain sections wherein you will have to compete with people who have done, say for example, atmospheric sciences or climatology. We don't have it in it, but then this is just an example that came to me, that you have people who have done their BSc physics and then they are doing their atmospheric sciences and so on and so forth. So you could have a tough time competing with such people when we are going for say the at a competition level. I won't say everybody, but that's how it is. Okay, so that's one more thing. Then coming to the present scenario, that's the pandemic condition as such. We all know, and let me tell you for sure, at least it could have been for climatology, if not other subjects as such. The marks that you would be getting eventually as a score in climatology would are definitely, most of you all would agree with me that most of these marks are inflated marks as such. Okay, we have had our limitations as far as the lectures are concerned. We have had our limitations as far as our uh, so to say assignments are concerned, and eventually uh, the evaluation also is concerned. And thus you'll see that on all lines it has been more to a lenient extent as such. Okay, that I get a 90 doesn't mean that I have a very good in geomorphology or climatology, or any of the other two aspects of human geography, that's economic or uh, population and settlement geography as such. So that's uh, and I see that the next couple of months, at least 3 to 4 months, I would be bold to say that at least till the end of 2021, that's till December, I don't see things recovering. So once again, in all possible conditions, you would be on your own as far as studying all subjects. Leave aside your specializations for a moment of time. You would be on your own, and let me tell you that this is post graduation level. Nobody is going to spare you for making mistakes at post graduation. Under graduation ला कसं लोक म्हणतात ठीक आहे नोकरी करून याव केलं नोकरी करून त्याव केलं. You are not expected to work and do your post graduation, because post graduation is supposed to be something very serious. Given the pandemic conditions, I would again urge you all to think how you are going to study with any of the specialization that you are going to do on. Then, the four papers that we are supposed to be doing as specializations would have one more aspect to that. In the fourth semester, we are supposed to be doing our what is called as a dissertation. Whereas Mullah, now I would like to just make an appeal here. Many people, many students, in spite of me telling them, they pronounce it as dissertation. It is not dissertation. You are not deserting your subject. It's a dissertation. Disser. It's not desser. If you go to search for the meaning of dissertation in or in the dictionary as such, any dictionary, it would say that it's a small research essay. It's a small research essay. It's not a huge research like MPhil or PhD, but it's very small research, okay, around which you work for around 6 months. It's not actually 6 months. If you go to the rules and regulations of the university, you are actually supposed to announce your dissertation topic at the start of the third semester. You need to work around the theory of your topic in the third semester. You need to collect data in the third semester. The compilation of the data into a compact dissertation needs to be done in the fourth semester. Now, why am I referring to dissertation is once you select a specialization, you will have to do your dissertation in your specialization only. It would not be that, okay, I'm doing geomorphology, but I would like to do something in population. No, you would have to continue. The university rules are strange, but do not allow you to do so. If you are specializing in geomorphology, your dissertation has to be in geomorphology. If your specialization, of course, there is a very thin line, okay, of difference, but then that is how it is. If your specialization is economic geography, your dissertation has to be somewhere around economic geography as such. So these were a few points that I wanted to make. I still don't want to influence your choice as such, but as I said, that what you're going to do in future, what is your actual liking, and not somebody else taking a particular specialization. Go through the syllabus. Okay, yesterday Dhawale sir has posted the syllabi of the whole context in the group as such, so you could just go through the syllabi of all these as such, and accordingly decide. And off the record, I would say that those of who would have lesser amount of time to concentrate on say your course, your PG course as such, I would certainly not recommend geomorphology, basically only in that case, basically because as I said, geomorphology is going to be a bit advanced and you need to put some inputs. इकॉनॉमिक ज्योग्राफी मध्ये कसं आहे की थोडं इकडनं थोडं तिकडनं का होईना, you come to a point of conscience that okay, I've done something as such. You don't get confused at any point of time, because economic geography is something that you are living in. Okay, you are seeing population around you, you are seeing resources moving around you, you actually deal in resources, etc. And on the other hand, as I said, that geomorphology is something that you don't see. You don't see a V-shaped valley every day. you don't come across seniority index every day. So that's a bit of difference. So please go by your understanding of that particular subject rather than larger number of students gathering in that particular subject as such. I don't know how many of y'all are connected to people from earlier batches as such. You could speak to them as well and ask that which of these could be beneficial in the present scenario, given the teachers, etc. as such. Okay, I'm not saying that a particular teacher is good or bad, but that tends to happen. Okay, even I feel it that when I take 5 lectures, I would say that a couple of lectures would be down. One particular lecture could be fantastic. So if this could happen with an individual, this could happen with comparatives as far as subjects are concerned, comparatives as teaching faculty is concerned also as such. I'll just check if I've finished with my points as such. Once having done with my points, I will open up the discussion for students as well, and let us have an open discussion. If you have any queries or suggestions to make, uh, I have done with my thing in 27 minutes. If you have any queries for me, and if I am able to solve them for you, I would be happy to do that. Yeah, I've done. Now, if you have any queries for me, you could just ask me your questions from your side. You can unmute yourself and ask your question. You could ask your questions in Marathi also. I'll answer you in Marathi. Yeah, no questions? Yeah, and that you have uh, given your options on the WhatsApp group does not necessarily mean that now it's very compulsory that you will take that subject and you cannot change your option as such. Okay, anybody taking economic geography could shift to geomorphology. Anybody thinking of geomorphology now wanting to change their mind could very well do so. My best suggestion is you attend a few lectures of all the teachers and make your decision on that base, one. And secondly, see your flow of a particular subject. How many or whatsoever glorified a particular subject would look so. की आमच्या वेळेस असा एक ट्रेंड होता की म्हणे हुशार मुलं ही जिओमॉर्फॉलॉजीला जातात आणि probably that is one of the reasons I went to geomorphology. I had no sense of what human geography was. Probably that is one of the reasons I could not clear my first attempt at UPSC, that I had no touch of human geography at all. So let that not be a prejudice. तो एक न्यूनगंड असू देऊ नका तुमच्यामध्ये. You can choose on your own. If you are afraid to speak publicly, you could, at a later point of time, you could message me personally also in case you have any issues as such. But in case we have no issues now, I would like to stop the recording for the day. Or even if you ask me questions after I have stopped recording,